What happens when a love for wine and a passion for rescuing dogs comes together? You get Rescue Dog Wines, a company that blends philanthropy and fine wine. In this episode, I'm joined by Blair Lott, co-founder and CEO, whose journey from the music world to winemaking is full of unexpected twists you're not going to want to miss. We'll talk about the challenges of balancing business and a mission and what's next for Rescue Dog Wines. Stay tuned. You're listening to Starlight Pet Talk, a podcast for pet parents who want the best pet care advice from cat experts, dog trainers, veterinarians, and other top pet professionals who will help you live your very best life with your pets. Welcome to Starlight Pet Talk. I'm your host, Amy Castro, and my guest today is Blair Lott, and he is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Rescue Dog Wines. And I don't know about you, but I mean, to have two things in one bottle that are like your favorite things, how can you do anything wrong with that? But we're going to learn more about it. Blair spent the first years of his career working in the music world, writing and performing in Athens, Georgia, and then moving to Nashville and later on to Melbourne, Australia. He then transitioned into a career as a consumer insights and digital media consultant. During his 3 years in Australia, he became immersed in the food and wine scene and intrigued with the idea of making wine his vocation. So after moving back to Atlanta and marrying his wife, Laura, they decided to move to Northern California to be closer to wine country and Laura's family. And I won't tell any more of his story because I want to hear from Blair as to how did that turn into Rescue Dog Wine. So first, Blair, welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. Very, very happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I had not heard of Rescue Dog Wines, but I'm all in now. So how did you go from deciding, I think I might want to move to wine country and, I'm really interested in that, to starting Rescue Dog Wines with its mission and all that?
Yeah, definitely the idea kind of took a life of its own. Initially, the plan was just to be growers, right? I was going to continue my consulting career and then we were going to go grow grapes. I really was pushing for that to live out in the country, kind of got tired of living in the Bay Area. Laura, not so much. She's more of a city gal. So the deal we kind of came up with that if she could foster dogs, that we would move out to the country.
Aha.
Yeah, so we looked for properties, and even when we were looking for the properties, I would always ask about, the grapes, but really it was fostering dogs. It was kind of the top of Laura's mind when we were kind of doing that due diligence around it. We finally found a fantastic property in Lodi, and I mentioned along the way about doing a Rescue Dog Wines because of her interest in fostering dogs, and initially she said no. But as we kind of got on the property and saw what it would take, I pitched the idea that as a hobby, I would start this as an online business. And really, that's how it started. But like I said, it kind of took a life of its own.
As do all things that involve dogs, I think, or getting into the rescue life. When it comes to a business, I would think that it might be a struggle. And you can tell me, it's one thing to be, I'm about money. I'm trying to make business. I'm trying to sell wine, get customers, but it's a whole nother ball of wax, I think, when you are mission centric like you are in, basically knowing that the proceeds of your wine are helping save the lives of rescue dogs. How do you find that balance to be a good businessman and a good steward of dog rescue?
Yeah, mission first is really important. We really are a purpose-driven brand. We're not just cause marketing to sell wine. It really, the biggest priority to us is being able to help save animal lives. And really, I think this is, it's a very old business, it's a very entrenched business. There's a lot of beating your head against the wall. If I was just selling wine, as a newcomer without a story about how my family had been doing it for generations, I think, I'd have given up the ghost a while back. But it's the mission that really drives me, gets me up in the morning.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know a lot about the industry, but I know it can be certainly a tough one from a lot of different directions. And so you need something to drive you to keep driving forward, I'm sure. How much does the mission impact decisions that you're involved in? Like as opposed to maybe somebody that, just has a winery and just sells wine and it's not mission centric. What's different about your day-to-day running of your business?
Yeah, we see them as a partner, right? And I think that's kind of unique. And then we'll, if we're having a sales meeting and there's a buyer, but the buyer wants a discount, and we'll go, well, if there's nothing left for the dogs, it's not worth it for us to do, right? So having margins to support our mission is always top of mind. And again, it goes back to being mission driven. Why are we doing this? And that really helps guide our choices.
Okay, great. So tell us exactly, how does this work? Because there's a lot of people that say they give back and it's like such a small amount. Not that it doesn't count, but you're exceptional in my experience. Tell us about the how that works.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely baked into the business model, the idea being that if we started this way, it wouldn't hurt, right? If all of a sudden we decided we were going to give a X percentage or whatever. And that was very important to Laura, that we don't just make it some kind of gimmick to sell wine. And not only do everyone that works with us gets that. Like I said, when we have sales meetings, the sales guys understand that, and it's uh, really, really important and what drives everyone. And we give that in a lot of different ways. We have done cash donations. What has turned to be in our favorite way to give, but also seems to be the favorite way to receive by the organizations, is us donating wine and sometimes a representative to explain the mission to the rescue organizations. They really love that. They can take a small amount of wine and make a lot of dollars off of that, to the point where we've even had events where they've centered around our wine, maybe paired some food to that, and sold tickets in advance for, say, $100 and have a few hundred people. And then when people get there, they have some wine, they bring out their checkbooks and donate even more. And it's really great to see.
Yeah, serving wine at fundraisers is always a good idea. You get loose with the tongue, loose with the pen, loose with the checkbook. It's always good. Feeling good about yourself, good about life in general. That's great. So how does that work if I'm going to just go ahead and buy a bottle of wine online? Am I still giving back to rescue pets?
Yeah, absolutely. So 50% of our profits go to rescue dog organizations. As I mentioned before, we really consider rescue dogs as an equal partnership in the business. So that's been from day one, and we want to continue that. And hopefully one day, when I retire and we're gone, the company will continue on and maybe potentially do 100%, where it's part of a foundation or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really something that we hope will be around after we're gone. So.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, there's got to be somebody else out there other than you and me and your wife, that are like, dogs, wine, like I'm sorry, you just can't go wrong with it. It's just such a great thing. And I've seen a lot of fundraising things, and I've seen 10%, and I've seen, 1%, and I've seen, so it's kind of like some of these online programs for these ginormous companies where, oh, it's the give back program and everybody's all excited about it. And as the receiver, when I get like a half a penny on the dollar, it's nice, but it's not the big thing you think you're accomplishing. I mean, it's, I get $76 a quarter, and I'll take it, I'll use it, but 50% is a whole nother ball of wax. So that just shows the commitment to the mission to me.
Yeah, and then we're blessed that we didn't have to get outside investors, or anything like that. We don't have stockholders to pay, so it's something that we're capable of doing.
That's awesome. So what year did you start the company?
So we actually formed the corporation in 2017, and then started work on the first wine, and then we released it around 4th of July 2018. And at that time, it was one blend. We made just a barrel of that, and thought, well, we'd make enough where if we couldn't sell it, that we could drink it or give it to our friends.
There you go.
So kind of a no risk, startup. And I put the first label we had the artist do before the wine was ready, put up on Facebook. And at that time, Facebook was very organic. And within 30 days, we had around 10,000 likes or followers. It was just kind of blow your mind, amazing.
I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with dogs and wine. It's a recipe for success. So how have things grown since then? What are the things you've been proudest of as you've seen the company and the mission grow?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of nuts because over the first few years, we were growing 100% or more every year with just online sales, moving from one wine to now I think we have close to 10 different wines or different versions of wines. And then we're in retail stores in California and restaurants and stuff. And then we're looking to expand to other states. But really, the biggest milestone in my mind that we reached, and that was back in September. So very recently, we crossed the $100,000 given, and that to me is what it's all about. So I'm very proud of that.
Wow. In the grand scheme of growing a business, that's not a huge period of time. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and we're still very small, It's like I said, you've never heard of us, even though you're an active wine drinker and active in the dog communities. So
yeah, but I only drink the cheap wine though, so I don't drink the good stuff. I'm no connoisseur for sure, but I am looking forward to trying that wine.
Yeah. Hopefully, there were some weather issues with the heat getting it to you before the interview, but hopefully you'll get that soon, and I think you will enjoy them.
I'll do a non-connoisseur's review after the fact. No, you definitely don't want that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So how do you decide who you're going to help? What rescues that you're going to donate to? Is there a process involved in that, or how does it work?
Yeah, and it's definitely evolved. Initially, people, rescue organizations would email us. 99% of them, they find us, and we find that seems to work better because I tried cold calling some, and their initial reaction is, "What are you trying to sell me?" So if they kind of hear it from their people and they kind of get their head around it before they reach out to us. But now we have like a web form on our website. They're able to upload their 501Cs and all that information that helps kind of move the process a lot quicker. And we're able to vet them very quickly and get them what they need. If they're having an event, I'd like to have them do it maybe 3 or 4 weeks in advance. But, sometimes we can, if they're close by, we can do it a lot quicker.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's fairly standard. I mean, any organization that you're going to ask to provide product for an event needs a little bit of a heads up. But you are expanded beyond just, your local area. You're working with rescues around the country, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So through our compliance shipping system, we can get wines to, I think it's 47 states. And as far as I know, I can't remember turning anyone down as far as what they're asking for. I've had to turn down organizations because they weren't properly set up as a charity, and by law they have to, for us to donate wine to them. But no, it's really fantastic to how widespread, geographically at least, that we can reach and help organizations out. And as we grow, that will grow. And that's the really exciting thing about this business is the future and how many animal lives in so many different places we can touch.
Yeah. I mean, obviously nobody's expecting you to run all over the country jumping to everybody's event. But you said that you and your wife have had the opportunity to go to some of the events and really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we really do. And we'd like to do that when we can, right? We obviously can't do it everywhere. It seems like we're giving something away on an almost daily basis now. It's kind of cool. And like I said, 99% of the organizations are legitimate organizations. And I will give them something, right? And I don't think I've ever had one that just shot for the moon or something, asked for something that we couldn't give,
That's so good. People aren't being greedy about it.
Exactly. So, yeah.
I'm sure you probably interact with people on the wine side of the industry. Do they think you're nuts for doing this?
Yeah. It really varies. It's a wide variety. I know that I had one with me, but our head of sales in California, he said sitting next to a guy during a sales pitch meeting to a grocery chain, and someone from the distributor there was there. And that guy's like, why do they do this? He just cannot get us. Why would you want to give away your money? Was basically his point of view. So you have that every now and then.
We'll be right back.
Our pets aren't in our lives nearly long enough. So isn't it important that we build the best relationship with them that we can? Let us help. Get our exclusive guide, 10 Tips for Building a Lifelong Bond with Your Pet, and start transforming your relationship today. Just go to petparenthotline.com/bond with your pet. Yeah, I could see people thinking that. It's a significant sum, that's for sure. As far as the feedback that you've gotten from rescues or maybe the events that you've attended, is there anything in particular that jumps out at you that says this right here is what makes it worth it, or this story, or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I mean, we love a lot of the facilities will let us tour and, hold the animals or take pictures with them and seeing how their volunteers, our employees are so passionate, and we see from one person organizations to there's an organization in Southern California that I think it's 200 employees and 1,400 volunteers. So we see the gamut, right? But as a rule, everyone involved in this cause, they're always down to earth. They're always passionate about what they do, and they're great people. So it's the people and the animals, of course, but the people that support the animals that really warm your heart as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, having done this rescue work as a volunteer the entire time. I mean, even, when I started back volunteering at animal shelter, it's like there's a certain level of crazy you have to have going on to get involved in animal rescue, but money seems to be the furthest from anybody's mind. It's like, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for a crappy salary when I know I could get a better salary over here. And I think it's just that the mission is so important. I mean, how do you put a price on the life of an animal that relies on humans to stay alive?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely so true.
But at the same time, I will balance that out with the fact that you've got to be smart about it. Like, it would do nobody any good if your winery went out of business because of the philanthropy. It's like, then it's kind of pointless. And it's the same thing in rescue. I see some people, they, whether it's mental or physical, driving themselves in the ground or driving in themselves in the ground financially. At some point, you have to, create parameters and good practices to make things work. But I think, like you had mentioned a couple times, the mission is the thing that drives everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does the future hold? Do you have big plans or any exciting changes, new products, new programs that you have lined up for the future?
Yeah, I mean, we had a sweepstakes that kind of attaches to our holiday that we celebrate, Rescue Dog Month, and we're figuring out how to use that to not only promote our brand, but also promote rescue organizations. So it's really about saying, hey, if you're going to adopt a dog, this is a great month to do it, kind of thing, right? It's starting to gain ground. We're starting to figure out how to do that and kind of lead to the end of the year, which is our biggest selling season, into the holidays. So because of the hurricanes, we decided during the month of October, because the timing was right there, and there was an immediate need that 10% of everything people spend in our online store in October goes directly to a handful of organizations in Florida and North Carolina.
Okay, so that's awesome. And for those of you who are listening to this right now, there's still plenty of October left. No excuses to go ahead and order some wine. I mean, we've all seen the videos, seen the things on the news. I mean, it's devastation for humans and animals alike. So I can only imagine. I mean, I know what it was like just trying to hold down the fort here at my little rescue ranch during Hurricane Beryl. And, let alone we didn't have any massive damage afterwards, but they're going to definitely use all the help that they can get. And you get a bottle of wine for it too. So, everybody wins in that instance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is such an immediate need.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to put links and things like that up on our show notes so people can get to your website and, get to more information about what you're doing. What else can people do to help support your cause other than buying wine and, telling their rescue friends, hey, you need to get connected with Rescue Dog Wines?
No, really, it's like be a part of the rescue community, I think is, volunteer your time, open up your checkbooks, all the above. It's such an important need. Spay and neutering, very important, for specific programs that support that to make the situation more manageable, where there's not so many animals out there that get in desperate straits. So I think, we need to culturally rethink how we think about our pets and our farm animals and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that we try to stress a lot on this show is that pets are for life and you've got to take care of them, and the spay and neuter and the, vaccination and everything else, appropriate to their age and all of that is just so important. But yeah, I know that, I know California really struggles because I think California is the number one state for shelter euthanasia. And we in Texas are right behind you as far as the hundreds of thousands of animals being euthanized. I think the primary reason is lack of spay and neuter. It's just that perpetual cycle of puppies and kittens being born and not enough people to take them in. So we all need to work on that for sure.
Yeah, no, we'd really love to see where the 100% of the U.S. was no kill. Yeah, just where there was no need for that. Yeah,
definitely. All right, so now I'm going to get personal. So tell us about, do you have foster dogs now? Is that where Laura is? She's taking care of those foster dogs while we're on this call?
We are currently between fosters, and we recently lost Daisy, but we do have 5 rescue cats.
Ah, that's right. You said you're a cat guy, or you have at the moment, right?
Yeah, at the moment, it just, again, it's something that just kind of evolved on its own. 3 of the cats we found among many cats. Laura got very active with the kind of the trap and neuter program and was able to place most of those kittens, but 2 of them, we were fostering them and foster failed. And then one slightly older cat, about a year old cat, he showed up one day, jumped into my arms.
Oh, wow.
And initially I thought, well, this is a neighbor's cat, but we did all the things that you should do, put up posters, took him to see if he had a chip, that identified him. And so eventually, yeah, he made his way into the house and into our hearts. And then we ended up getting 2 additional cats. Laura's sister passed away and she had 2 rescue cats. And so we took those on as well. So we're a quickly growing cat family for a couple of years there.
Yeah, you know what that means though, don't you?
What's that?
You got to start a whole nother line of product. Rescue cat cheese. Do they do cheese in California? I mean, I know Wisconsin's cheese, but I know there's cheese.
There is. That's a good idea. We do have one very nice sparkling wine on our website only that has a cat. And that was for one of Laura's sisters. It's called the Liesel. Her sister was named Liesel, and it was we did that in her memory. So.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So you do have a cat product. I got to check all the products because I didn't look at it. I didn't look at all of them. I need to check them out. Do you have a favorite product? Like if somebody was like, I can only do, let's say 2 bottles of wine. I'm going to order 2 bottles of wine to check it out. What's your go-to?
I love our Cabernet. I'm a Cabernet drinker.
You're a cab guy. Okay.
Yeah, and I really, I think our Cabernet will stand up against anything, from Napa. And it's exquisite.
Nice. All right. I'll have to check that out. What about on the white side? Because I'm more of a white wine drinker.
I really like the Sauv Blanc.
I'm writing this down, by the way.
Yeah, one of the first wines I was introduced as a young man was I took a trip to Europe, and Sancerre, it's the Sauv Blanc basically from the Rhone wine region. And Lodi has a very similar climate, so it presents itself very similar to those wines. Instead of being like a New Zealand Sauv Blanc, it has a very floral nose, cut grass. Anyways, it's almost like a different wine compared to even coastal Sauv Blancs in California or New Zealand. It's very much more like it's a hot Mediterranean climate, like where Sancerre is, and it's very similar wine, and I love it. In the summertime, yeah, great by the pool. It's very refreshing.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about cut grass and all that. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good summer wine for me there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, although I'm in Texas, so it's summer all year round. I can drink it whenever I want for the most part.
That's right.
All right. So my last question, I don't know if this is going to be a clunker or not, but if Rescue Dog Wines was a breed of dog, what breed of dog do you think represents the wine and why?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say boxer. Daisy was a boxer, and she was truly the inspiration for the brand. And she really taught us the value of a rescue animal, and was a great companion for 15 years to Laura and myself. And so just a fantastic animal. And I think she was probably a year old or more when Laura found her. So yeah, she changed our lives.
Awesome. That's great. Well, golly, Blair, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm so glad for the opportunity to hear about the wine. I can't wait to get it and try it, to learn more about the mission. I can only imagine being on the inside of Rescue, all the amazing impact that your generosity has had on the rescues who've been involved with you. So thank you for not only being here, but for you and your wife. Tell her thank you as well for everything that you do for rescue animals.
Well, thank you so much for having us and helping us spread the word.
All right. Awesome. And thank you again to everybody for listening to another episode of Starlight Pet Talk. Don't forget to check out those show notes, and don't wait. Don't say I'm going to do that later. Go do it now, because we have that special opportunity to help people in Florida and in North Carolina, the rescues that have been impacted there, by checking out the wine, buying it now before the end of the month, to have that extra give involved. So make sure you check that out today as soon as you're done listening. And again, thank you for listening to another episode of Starlight Pet Talk. We'll see you next week. As we close out today's episode, I want to make sure that you realize that the journey doesn't end here. We have tons of information for you in our show notes, including additional resources, links that you can get further information, and sometimes we might even have some surprises there for you as well. Keep in mind, too, that our conversation is a two-way street. This is your show, too, and we want you to get involved. If you have questions stirring in your mind, ideas you're burning to share, or a story that you think the world needs to hear, don't keep it to yourself. Let us know about it. Your thoughts, your questions, and your ideas are the lifeblood of the show, and we cannot wait to hear them. You can find all the ways to contact us in the show notes or on our website. So don't be a stranger. Drop us a line, send us a note, send us a voicemail, get in touch on social media. Let's keep this conversation going and build a community that's driven by curiosity, empathy, understanding, and our shared love of pets. Don't forget to tune in next week and every week for a brand new episode of Starlight Pet Talk. And if you don't do anything else this week, give your pets a big hug from us.